right, man. Don't piss off the Indians for no good reason, is how I would bluntly put it. And then we'd be in a much stronger place to ask the Indians not to do things that benefit the Russians. But we have to design our economic pressure against Russia, which is perfectly valid while the war is going on, in a way that other countries can understand, if not love. Easier said than done. I get it.
Okay. Bhattacharya, how would you, very interesting arguments on all sides over here. To the question of whether you expect a huge breakthrough in the Modi-Xi meeting, and B, where does that leave India and America, which in a sense have premised their relationship on the shared concern strategically over China?
You know, I would wish to see the decisions of yesterday and the paper that came out last evening in the context of the extensive and very detailed discussions that have been ongoing for the last 4 years and more. And I think the kind of work that the WMCC and even at the commanders level that has been achieved has been quite considerable. In some ways, I do see that many of these mechanisms and decisions are kind of going back to the past, because as you would recall, we used to have a joint working group mechanism under which there was an expert group. And we had a CBM's treaty agreement as well. And I think in some ways what is being talked of in the two working groups is very similar about looking at detailed maps for delimitation and for looking at boundary management, which is very similar to what we did under the CBM's agreement. So I don't see this as something that has emerged yesterday, but this is a process through which India and China have negotiated, gone back to some of the positions that they used to hold in the past. But there is also one very significant difference, and I think that is probably coming out of the understanding at Kazan, which was that we look at this as a boundary settlement rather than as an LAC or line of actual control settlement. And I think that is a very significant point of improvement and something that we need to really work upon much more. Will this lead to a major announcement at Tianjin? I cannot say, but I think my sense is it may be a little early, because there's still a fair amount of groundwork to be done before we can come to any significant decision. So again, as I say, this has been a fairly autonomous process that has gone on, and I do not wish to link it to the America issue, which is a very important strategic partner for us. You know, for me, it's also somewhat perplexing, as it is for my co-panelists, that while a process of trade negotiations is ongoing, and there is a sort of a draft agreement, there is suddenly a demand for an extra 25%, the first 25%. And that this was, in a sense, was this just a bargaining chip? And I think that can be negotiated. And I think all the issues can be negotiated, because obviously there is no deal until the final deal is done. The second one, which came about, the next 25%, which was the Russia connection, actually falls flat, and which is why I'm really puzzled by the Treasury Secretary's comment that, you know, to link it up with Russia when you had the meeting in Alaska, followed by the meetings with Zelensky and the Europeans in DC, to now go back to the Russian issue is somewhat meaningless. Does this mean that the Treasury Secretary is going to kind of put sanctions on the Europeans who buy more than half of Russia's LNG? I don't know. So I think there are certain parameters in DC which seem to be out of sync. And I think we need to have better information systems over there. We need to work a lot more with our American friends to make them understand as to what the ground realities are. There is a shared future, and I think both sides are quite conscious and aware of it, and I think we will work towards it. And I think Mr. Trump will also be a very serious agent in building that shared future. Sure. We have great hope in him.
Ainat, Ambassador Bhattacharya has spoken like a true diplomat, the last couple of sentences that you said. But Ainat, let me come to you. Do you actually believe that despite all the hostility that we've seen, that we can actually move to a boundary, if not a border, you know, in a finite period of time?
No, it's going to take a while to do it, but you have to have leaders who are committed to this idea. And that's exactly what we're starting to hear. There's a lot of issues that have to be settled and things like that. But I have to respond to something my colleague, Ambassador Fry, said. The hypocrisy is dripping. The United States is the one who's been buying yellow cake from Russia and also fertilizers, while insisting that everybody else give up their energy. And they were the ones who told India to go forth and get this oil to balance the world budget. Otherwise, you'd have a situation where there's a deficit and oil prices would spike. So and this happened during Biden's time. In fact, they doubled the order in Biden's last year. People around the world are getting tired. This hypocrisy. You come on the show and you say, oh, don't worry about it. I can't explain it. Well, it's time the U.S. started explaining why it's doing these unpredictable things to countries.
Okay.
There's a bunch of penguins out there who are wondering why, since there's no humans on their island, that they're getting tariffs. And you might not be a Trump guy, but many of these policies were continued by Biden. So it is not just a Trump thing. This is an American. This is a Washington.
All right, Annatangan, hold on. I'm out of time, but I must give Ambassador Fry the last word. Sir, respond in a minute or so if you can, before I start wrapping this up. Go ahead, Ambassador Fry.
It's perfectly reasonable for the US and Europe to work to push the Russian economy. I'm surprised that anybody would object to that, given the nature of Russia's aggressive war. You talked about American hypocrisy. Well, let's be straight about this. Nobody's clean in this one. Nobody. We all have inconsistencies. And I think the Trump administration tariff policy is quite possibly misguided. I'm no big fan of it. But let's not talk about American inconsistency, which is real, without recognizing a lot of inconsistencies. Let's focus on the major problem, which is to go after Russia. Secondly, have a more reasonable approach to India, and not get engaged in the usual anti-American rhetoric that everything the United States does is dirty. That's not going to help us. We need to move forward together, working with our fellow democracies. I am a believer in the free world.
All right.
And thanks for the opportunity.
We are all believers in the free world, and let's hope that we can all be friends. But it is great to be speaking about the India-China relationship from a pragmatic standpoint, despite a lot of the concern that so many observers, myself included, do actually feel at this stage. But let's hope, in the interest of billions on both sides of the line of actual control, the boundary or the border, call it what you will, that there is a real future over there. I'd like to thank you all very much for being with us. It's time for us to take this short break.
Rajasthan is history, culture, and much more. And I have been reporting on all things royal for more than 25 years.
The colors, the culture, and the complexities of the Northeast is different from the rest of the country. I have been bringing the Northeast closer to the capital for over 15 years.
Madhya Pradesh is the heart of India, and I have been capturing its every beat for over 10 years, covering the corridors of power. What is said, what is left unsaid, and what it actually means for you and me. I have it all covered.
Kashmir is often called paradise on earth, a region that has been in a state of flux from conflict to India's crowning glory. I have been reporting and decoding Jammu and Kashmir for last 3 decades.
And that's why it's being said that after Kahuna Pyare, this is the film that has got 2 superstar debutants who are becoming superstars. But what was this faith that you had on these two that that shows on screen?
You don't plan to make a blockbuster. You plan to make a good film. And that's what I think they never let me, they didn't put that pressure on me to live up to. They never gave me a number that we have to hit or a so-called figure that I have to open to. There was all these trappings were just not there, which normally producers do end up putting that pressure. You know, then you make wrong things. Then you add a song for a shadi song, add a Punjabi song. All these trappings were not there in this film. They were like, just go there and make your film. Do this script. We love this script and make it honestly. And I think the minute that happened, a filmmaker I could just spread my wings and just go out, not worrying about a few. I think when you do that, you get a little more fearless, and then that's what got picked up by people. So I cast appropriate for the film. I didn't cast thinking. I cast what felt right.
You were saying that you are going to say no to him.
Yeah. But that's his fault. Huh? He was now that we can talk about the film, Krish Kapoor cannot be a timid, sweet boy.
Yes,
sir, how are you, sir?
Last time we spoke.
Yeah, and I was like, what is this guy? He was a sweet boy. And then by the end of the night, I could see the boisterous self, and I could see the Krish Kapoor who could stand on top and say, don't forget this name, it's Krish Kapoor. So I think I was looking for that a bit. I needed a spark of that.
The markets move fast.
And so should your portfolio. Expert insights, real-time stock picks.
Do I buy Ola?
Should I hold CDSL for the long term?
Buy, sell or hold.
The answers you need, straight from the experts.
Callers from India and across the world. Connect live, ask, decide and invest wisely.
Your portfolio, your future. Ask Profit.
India's defense game is no longer evolving, it's transforming. The NDTV Defense Summit 2025 brings together the sharpest minds. One day, big conversations, bold ideas. The mission is clear. Stay ready. Stay ahead. Leading from the front, the Honorable Defence Minister, Rajnath Singh. The NDTV Defence Summit 2025, Warfare in the 21st Century.
हेलो बोलिए मैडम डब्बा ट्रेडिंग कब से चल रहा है पता है मैडम आपको हम और आप तो जन्म भी नहीं हुआ था हमारा
We investigated a shady advisory firm that has spent big bucks on advertising on the front pages of national dailies.
ये आपको बिल्कुल उसका ऐसे हल्का सा भी खौफ नहीं है
मैडम एक बात को खौफ किस लिए रखना चाहिए ये तो बताओ कौन सा गलत काम कर रहा हूँ मैं
After our report, we also saw NSE came out with a cautionary circular to the investors. Market Regulator Securities and Exchange Board of India has also come out with a release talking about the actions that it has taken. Cyber complaint has also been filed against the entities involved in this entire Dabba trading scam.
Pulling us into this country.
They argue, I conclude. They deflect, I drill down. This isn't a free-for-all. It's a reckoning. No filler, no fog. Only the facts and where they lead. Every night at 9, the case closes because the buck stops here.
Is your business future ready? Join the 13-week strategic ESG certification program for business sustainability and growth for CXO and business leaders by NDTV, Terry and Zenora. Master global ESG frameworks, gain real-world tools, and lead with impact. Starts August the 23rd. Enroll now and power your business with sustainability.
Mohit, you are known for your music. All your films, musics stay with us till today. I'm a millennial and those music are kind of music. So whenever we say Mohit Suri film aa raha hai, we know the music will be good, right? It's a given. So you really work hard. But is this always like how you create your music? You need everything in place, the mood, the lighting, even when the person is in the studio and just singing. And also, how did you select your musicians that this person's voice is perfect for this song?
That's what I think, the amount you give to a song, that's how long it will last, I think. Everyone does the programming, everyone writes the words, everyone makes the thing. But the thing is how much you give, how much of heart you give to the lyrics or to the music or to the melody or to the singing. That's how long the song will last, is what I genuinely feel. If you don't give that love, you're not going to get it back. It's just a simple debit and credit procedure, I think, with the audience. I genuinely feel I don't have any special.
Hello and welcome to NDTV Profit. I'm Sanjana Chauhan and you're watching our special coverage on the online gaming bill that has now been passed in the Lok Sabha. The bill proposes a sweeping ban on all real money games, whether based on skill or chance, stopping the advertisements and blocking banks from processing related transactions. Now, the All India Gaming Federation has appealed to the Home Minister to step in, warning that a blanket ban could cripple this fast-growing industry. Their call is for regulation, not prohibition. I had an exclusive conversation with S. Krishnan, the Secretary of MeitY, about the rationale behind the government's plan to ban online money gaming and what the government's potential next steps could look like. Let's listen in.
There's an entire ecosystem there, which can potentially make India the game development capital of the world. And a number of measures have been taken to actually support that. The National Institute of Creative Technology is coming up in Mumbai. STPI, which functions under MeitY, has centers of excellence both in Hyderabad as part of T-Hub and also in the Northeast. And we are working through a number of other ways by which gaming-related development is being focused on. One of the issues which has repeatedly come up in the gaming sector has been clarity on classification. Many parts of the gaming sector believe that they are tarred by association, and there is a segment of the gaming sector which is causing distress, financial distress, social distress related to addiction and so on. One part of it is doing that, whereas another part is really positively oriented in terms of gamification, development, content development, creative development, and so on. Government's intent is very clear that the portion which relates to the positive outcomes needs to be encouraged and developed. And for that, a clear delineation has to be made between the two parts of the industry. And therefore, there's a clear definition which has been offered in this act of within online gaming of esports and online social games, which include both recreational and educational games.
But let's also analyze what impact this entire thing would actually have on stocks specifically. And my colleague Vansh is here with that analysis. Vansh, over to you.
Clearly, this would be there has been a blanket ban on the real money gaming for these companies, and clearly this will be negative for the companies whose revenue comes from segments like fantasy, sports, online rummy and poker. Now, it's important to understand the distinction between the games, real money gaming and other categories. Now, companies that focus on subscription models and in-app purchases or advertising-based revenue differ from the real money segment. So it's important to understand. And if we talk about the impact on the listed company space, let me start off with Delta Corp. Now the stock has rallied on the introduction of the new gaming bill yesterday, and we can see the follow-up gains in today's trade as well. So now this is on the back of the casino operations. Now the casino operations are not targeted under the new online gaming bill, and the casino operations account for 90% of the company's revenue for FY25. So clearly the bill's focus on formalizing the industry is positive for the particular counter, and the clamping down on the illegal online betting is also seen as a positive for this particular counter. Also, if we talk about Nazara Tech, Now the company has been focused on casual, freemium and esports segment. However, they have an exposure to real money segment through PokerBaazi. The parent company Monsoon Technology is a parent of PokerBaazi, and the Monsoon Technology accounted as an associate and is not consolidated in the books of Nazara. And Nazara owns 46% stake in Moonshine Technologies. If we talk about the financials, the revenue from Moonshine stood at 192 odd crores and the EBITDA stood at 74 odd crores for Q1 FY26. So PokerBaazi forms 35% of the sum of the parts valuation for Nazara Tech. So clearly the net effect still remains negative for this particular company. If we talk about the unlisted space, companies like Dream11, Mobile Premier League and Games 24/7, this would also take a hit as they will face hindrances in the form of the fund transfer restrictions that could choke user participation and the ad endorsements that could affect the brand spends and the marketing for these companies. Also, the industry is likely in a consolidation and we may see smaller players exiting this industry. So this is what the overall picture is looking like for this gaming industry.
Right, thanks for that, Vansh. Meanwhile, we also spoke earlier to Nitish Mittersen of Nazara Tech, and we asked him about the company's equity investment in PokerBaazi's parent company. Let's listen in.
Nazara's revenues and EBITDA do not constitute of any real money gaming businesses, and therefore there is going to be no impact on our operating financials or going forward growth, etc., as far as our current core gaming businesses are concerned. We, of course, have invested in Moonshine, which operates PokerBaazi, which is the leading platform in that particular space. And we believe, it has been a good opportunity.
Revenue of 192 crores, which is not a part of the consolidated books. Though you've mentioned that an EBITDA loss of around 74 crores is what you've seen, and this is on the back of higher marketing spends during the IPL. Now, the EBITDA loss was due to the front-loaded marketing costs. With that, how much has been the contribution to the losses in the consolidated book?
Sure. So in Q1, Nazara would have not included any revenues from PokerBaazi. It would have also not included any EBITDA profit or loss from PokerBaazi. However, the share of associates' profit and loss would come below EBITDA and translate into PAT. In this case, I believe it was around negative 20 crores or 25 crores in that range for PokerBaazi's contribution in our Q1 PAT numbers.
And now to add to that, if we are saying the 800 or 855 odd crores for what you've actually bought a PokerBaazi for, how do you look at treating this entire investment from here on? Will there be a change in strategy? Because the government has come out and said that, yes, this is not going to be allowed anymore. So what would that strategy be from here on?
So first of all, I'd like to see the actual bill being presented and the contents of it, to be able to, figure out what is the impact and how we are going to mitigate it. That said, it's also important to understand that Nazara's own strategy is focused on its core gaming business, which is a global business with over 80% of our revenues coming from international markets. We are a very diversified gaming platform, which is resilient to any such disruptions, whether it is due to regulation changes, taxation changes, changing consumer preferences, technology changes. There's always a lot going on in the gaming world. And over the last 2 decades, we built our business in a manner to be diversified and resilient to such challenges. So we believe our own strategy doesn't change. But of course, for PokerBaazi, depending on what's in the bill, they will have to adapt to it.
Nitish, morning. I have a two-part question and just trying to understand this better. Firstly, I wish you luck that if indeed this bill comes through in the shape or form that is being bullied right now, I wish you luck with re-strategizing that tech team that you spoke so highly about onto more profitable ventures. Now, until that happens, let's assume, Nitish, that we are right now talking at a time when you know for sure that this is the eventual truth. Do you do any, and it may not impact your revenues and EBITDA numbers as you said, but does it have a one-off impact spread over 1, 2, 3 quarters on the bottom line?
There's definitely, depending again on the outcome of all of this, right? What the bill carries and how we are able.
But I'm saying the hypothesis, Nitish, that let's assume that this is how it turns out. Yeah.
Yes, there would be. And Nazara has generally been a very conservative company. We report our financials conservatively. So if the situation demands it, we will create necessary provisions.
Is there any sense of how large could these provisionings that you would have to take, Nitish?
It's very difficult to anticipate, but the best way to think of it is, think of the entire investment as a provision.
Okay.
If the bill is very stark in terms of what online real money gaming can do in India.
Got it. The other question, Nitish, that I have for you is that because you spoke so highly of this team, right, and you would have paid a top dollar for it because of the nature of the team, what is it that you can pivot to doing? Part one. Part two, could you kind of sell it on an international jurisdiction for business to be done there?
Yeah, absolutely. The team has maybe 200 engineers, so it's extremely tech-first business, tech-first platform, which is relevant globally and not in India. Because India was a home market, the team has focused a lot on building the business over here. But this technology platform that they have is one, replicable across different geographies. Second, like you suggested, there could be licensing of this platform to other partners. There could be a potential sale, but it's all speculation. To be honest, it's very early at this point of time for us to be able to, have a clear way forward unless we know what is the impact and what is the, content of the bill.
Based on what you've said, and we've been speaking about the implications for your investment so far, but there are a lot of unlisted companies as well, and you're aware of the landscape in the real money gaming space. The point of contention seems to have been that there is no distinction that is made between skill-based and chance-based, and it's all bucketed under one. And so therefore, the stance that the government seems to be taking, and here I know that we're talking about this in hypotheticals, but what happens to the landscape here? Because ultimately there are a lot of people that are currently employed in the industry. There's a lot of investment that has taken place, money that is spent on advertisements, and so therefore, what happens to the industry in your opinion?
Well, of course, it's going to be an extremely challenging time for the industry. I would say a watershed moment for the industry if something that is speculated at this point of time were to come true. That said, I'm assuming that the government would have, looked at all aspects before taking any decision. So let us see what really happens.
Nitish, the other aspect is, what the government has come out and said is that now there is no distinguishing factor with regards to game of chance versus real money, right? There's absolutely no distinction now. So any of the other aspects or any of the other subsidiaries of Nazara that fall under this category now?
Absolutely not. So it's the only exposure we have with context to real money gaming. Money in and money out exists. Of course, what we operate is through Pokerbazi is a skill-based platform. But like you said, there is no distinction being made. Nazara, of course, has a large number of global gaming IPs, which are, growing businesses for us. And I think in any case, in the last year, a lot of our focus has been to double down on it. We've acquired some very good companies like Fusebox Games and Curve Games in the last 12 months. And we will continue down that trajectory as far as our own strategy is concerned.
Just to follow up to Neeraj's question, he had asked you whether you would likely spread this over a few quarters if you have to take a provision, or whether it'll be front-loaded. Which is it going to be, the former or the latter?
I think it's not a binary answer. We will really need to evaluate what is the impact, or what period is the impact, what is the mitigation opportunities we have in our hand. But I can assure you that whatever decision we will take will be a conservative decision.
And what led the government of India to bring in the online gaming bill in the first place? A move that effectively shuts down any game involving money. The root of this debate lies in Tamil Nadu, where online gaming companies and the state government have been locked in an intense legal battle. Let's take a step back and see how it all began.
Tamil Nadu is perhaps one of the only states that woke up early to the ills of online gaming, addiction, related mental health issues, and indebtedness, and worst of all, suicides. The state told the Madras High Court that at least 47 deaths by suicide between 2019 and 2024 were linked to addiction to online games. But that list does not include a 17-year-old boy in Madurai in March this year, nor does it include a 26-year-old man in Chennai who gambled 30,000 rupees meant for his mother's cancer treatment on online rummy and then took his life. Or a 45-year-old truck driver from Namakkal who took loans worth 75 lakh, lost it all and ended his life in February. Tamil Nadu's battle with online gaming began in 2021 when it passed the Tamil Nadu Gaming and Police Laws Amendment Act. This act held all online games, including poker and rummy, as games of chance and banned them. The act was formulated after the state formed a 5-member committee headed by retired Justice K. Chandru to look into the effects of online gaming. An online gaming company, Jungli Games, dragged the government to court. In 2022, the Madras High Court said that games like poker and rummy were games of skill and not games of chance. In October 2022, Tamil Nadu passed an ordinance called the Tamil Nadu Prohibition of Online Gambling and Regulation of Online Games Ordinance, and by April 2023, this was finally passed as an act. The act, apart from including games like rummy and poker, also provided for the creation of the Tamil Nadu Online Gaming Authority, which would monitor gaming sites and raise awareness on the ills of online gaming and gambling. The All India Gaming Federation took the state to Madras High Court and won in November 2023. Tamil Nadu then knocked the doors of the Supreme Court in 2024. The government of Karnataka joined them soon after in support of a ban on online gaming. Tamil Nadu currently does not allow users to play real money games during blank hours between midnight and 5 a.m. Strict KYC norms must also be followed by the gaming companies to ensure that users are over 18 years of age. And pop-up messages must be displayed boldly, telling the user that online gaming is addictive in nature. The latest online gaming bill tabled in Parliament by the Centre will be a shot in the arm for the state of Tamil Nadu in its ongoing battle.
And now let's shift focus away from online gaming to an exclusive interview. Here's a strong vote of confidence from none other than BK Das, Director General of DRDO, India's defense powerhouse. In an exclusive chat with my colleague and NDTV's managing editor, Tamanna Inamdar, he said that the defense sector is achieving the right balance between private and public participation. The growing number of defense exporters is also a clear sign of India's progress and strength in its defense journey. Let's listen in.
The defense sector is in focus today because of the cabinet clearance to a 62,000 crore order for combat aircrafts. But even as we track what's happening with the stocks, etc., the core story of India's defense is changing slowly but surely. In fact, to speak on this, we have a very exclusive conversation today from someone who you may not hear from too often. Dr. BK Das, who's the Director General of ECS, that's the Electronics and Communication System at DRDO, is joining us on the show today. Thank you so much, Dr. Das, for speaking with us here at NDTV Profit. It's an absolute delight.
My pleasure.
Okay, let me start by just understanding what is happening right now. And I'm going to start straight with Project Sudarshan Chakra. This is something that Prime Minister spoke about in the 15th August speech. We have seen what happened with Operation Sindoor, etc. How has that now shaped the way we approach defense research? And let's start with your views on how India can build an anti-missile system.
Okay, I mean, if I look at where we are today, every nation needs to protect its sovereignty, its assets, its systems. That's the best part of the defense. And if we need to do that, the very first thing is we have to be alert. And the alert aspect comes from surveillance. So we should have certain long-range sensors to have a proper surveillance of all our areas around. And the idea in any kind of a protection is the fastest you get to know and the time is the win. So if you know the things better and faster, you should be able to have your plans and strategies well. So India has led forward, not today, it's quite some time back we thought about our air defense program, that against any attack, what kind of a high precision systems we can make, which will be able to counterattack and protect the nation. So in this regard, our detections, our tracking, surveillance, and the missile systems we have been prepared with. So that's one aspect of air defense if you look at. But the best part of air defense is into three aspects. First comes the surveillance, the second comes the detection, the third comes the tracking, the fourth comes the identification, that whether it is a friend or a foe. And the moment you have the identification, you should plan the counterattack for neutralizations. These are the 5 layers of air defense any country has. So India in general and DRDO in particular have done quite a bit of an investment on the research in this special domain. Lots and lots of technologies are involved in all these 5 aspects which I explained to you. To start with the surveillance, detection and tracking through the radars, the long range radars, which as you are aware, India, we have got the powerhouse of radar in one lab called LRD and the industries together. So we are able to make long range radars, high precision radars, which can track multiple targets from very farther ranges. And after that, we can have a very high precision tracking, detection, identification. And apart from radar, we use certain other means like electro-optics, infrared imagery, and various other physics to identify such targets. Once we identify such targets, we need to define its identification of a friend or foe. We have got built-in artificial intelligence, our knowledge base, our hardcore software, which our engineers have developed, scientists have designed, that we are able to classify and identify this as an attack target. Not only that, we can further predict its velocity, its point of impact, and future course of action, based on which we have got the counter-attack mechanism. The counter-attack could be for a long-range missiles, which we have designed a number of them, or intermediate-range missiles based on the attack location, or it could be the electronic warfare systems wherein we do the soft killing by high-powered microwave and jamming of the signals, that is called soft kill. And finally, if it comes closer by for any reasons or if it is just short targets, then we have got the laser level directed energy weapon to counter-attack with a pinpoint attack and firing. So this is the various layered defense attacks which we have got, and of course the final level is always our attacks and the guns. So with this all multi-layer of attack, we can detect, we can identify, we can classify, we can define it either it is an attack or a friendly, based on which the neutralize. So all these technologies in various forms by our multiple laboratories of DRDO, they have worked. And the entire industry belt of Indian defense sectors, both PSUs as well as private sectors, are fully geared up. They have taken our TOTs to realize such systems.
Yes.
And in totality, in various bits and pieces, the models have been developed, integrated, and in various forms it has been deployed. And today, lots and lots of research is going on in this particular field, how to have very high strength algorithms, high cognition algorithms, more signal processing, intensive evaluations, and more powerful radar and missiles for precision attack.
Dr. Das, give us a sense of how much of this is indigenous, developed by Indian scientists, how much of this is contributing by the private sector, and how much of it is something that we depend on our trading partners on or with?
Okay, let me tell you. Generally, this entire concept is 100% Indian concept. We have all thought, we have all planned, and we have executed. The design of the entire system is Indian. The entire algorithm, the development, the basic hardware design, the implementations, the entire thing is done by DRDO. But however, when we do the design, we take it up to prototyping level. We test it in the lab, we test it in the field. And through the industries, Indian industries I'm specifically saying, which comes through our general process of competition. And they realize in multiple numbers such systems through their systems and our design and all the protocols and every system design being Indian. we make the systems out. But having said that, there are certain core level dependencies will always be there. I think every country needs that. We cannot have indigenizations to the grassroots level to that extent. Let us say if you talk about basic processors or FPGA, if you talk about certain chips, certain SRUs, some basic blocks are always maybe certain detectors. Some few things are there which definitely comes out. But mostly end to end the system is designed, developed and designed and delivered by the Indian industries through Indian brain through DID.
Pulling us into this country.
They argue, I conclude. They deflect, I drill down. This isn't a free-for-all. It's a reckoning. No filler, no fog. Only the facts and where they lead. Every night at 9, the case closes because the buck stops here.
Mohit, you are known for your music. All your films, musics stay with us till today. I'm a millennial and those music are kind of music. So whenever we say Mohit Suri film aa raha hai, we know the music will be good, right? It's a given. So you really work hard. But is this always like how you create your music? You need everything in place, the mood, the lighting, even when the person is in the studio and just singing. And also, how did you select your musicians that this person's voice is perfect for this song?
That's what I think, the amount you give to a song, that's how long it will last, I think. Everyone does the programming, everyone writes the words, everyone makes the thing. But the thing is how much you give, how much of heart you give to the lyrics or to the music or to the melody or to the singing. That's how long the song will last, is what I genuinely feel. If you don't give that love, you're not going to get it back. It's just a simple debit and credit procedure, I think, with the audience. I genuinely feel I don't have any special skill. I don't know any scale or anything else. It's just that I enjoy that process a lot. Give me an evening to just go for a film party or something, I'll skip it. But you give me like a struggling musician to go who has a great tune, some new guys, chill all night with them. I can do that. I can just sit there, make music and stuff like that. We just did that recently. Fahim came down. He just surprised us, and we met in my Bandra office, and Han was there, Aneet was there, and he made me hear his other songs and stuff like that. But it was it's so much fun, because I just think making music, film, you still get to see something. Yeah. I think music is so amazing. You
don't need to see anything.
It's in the air, and suddenly it just comes together, and it's just, you can just feel it. And something you hear makes you feel something. It's just magical.
Is your business future ready? Join the 13-week strategic ESG certification program for business sustainability and growth for CXO and business leaders by NDTV, Terry, and Zenora. Master global ESG frameworks, gain real-world tools, and lead with impact. Starts August the 23rd. Enroll now and power your business with sustainability. NDTV 24/7 is India's #1 English news channel on YouTube. Credible, compelling, always ahead of the curve. Thank you for choosing NDTV 24/7 as your trusted source for news.
If it matters to you, if it matters to you, if it matters to you, it matters to India. It matters to India. And it matters to me. And it matters to me.
India Matters with Shivaru. Only on NDTV 24/7.
First, when Sayyara released and we as audience realized, oh my God, what is happening? When did you realize it? It's like I didn't expect this. What is happening? Like that wave that hits you.
You know, the first thing that really hit me, I'm telling you, was a month back actually, to be honest, is when Adisa saw the film. And he saw a very loose cut and he decided the release date. But he was always, like me and Akshay were so into making the film, I think, along with Sumanna and all. Sometimes when you're so into it and you don't realize, you don't see it from, and then he saw it from a third person perspective. I mean, he was always super confident about the film. And he had actually had this talk with me about how I've done. And yeah, we all grew up. I was in the 8th grade when I saw Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge and said I want to make a love story like this. For a person like him to say that, you've made a great film. All he had asked for me was to make your best film for me. And I did. And I'm just glad that, so that was the first thing, and that validation was great. I wasn't shouting over the roof for it. It gives you a lot of confidence at that moment,
Absolutely.
for the person who's actually put his money where it is, and he wasn't talking about anything else, but on a very unassembled film at that time, could feel the emotion and be listening. But it was the first time we felt that we made something special. But yes, once the numbers came in, I think then it was Akshay.
The advance.
Yeah, and the advances came in, and then people were sending me messages, and all they said, no, don't listen to anyone. So I at one point just put my phone off and said, this is getting too out of hand. And then in the night we got the number.
Vanakkam Tamil Nadu.
Well, the battle for Tamil Nadu 2026 is open now.
After Chief Minister Stalin rolls up his sleeves and Vijay steps in as a star challenger.
This is a mass gathering, not for cash.
Meanwhile, a former Chief Minister, Edapadi Palanisamy, begins his fight back.
The big comeback campaign by EPS has well and truly begun.
These are all the ultimate players, and this is going to be the ultimate test.
Rajasthan is history, culture, and much more. And I have been reporting on all things royal for more than 25 years.
The colors, the culture, and the complexities of the Northeast is different from the rest of the country. I have been bringing the Northeast closer to the capital for over 15 years.
Madhya Pradesh is the heart of India, and I have been capturing its every beat for over 10 years, covering the corridors of power. What is said, what is left unsaid, and what it actually means for you and me. I have it all covered.
Kashmir is often called paradise on earth, a region that has been in a state of flux from conflict to India's crowning glory. I have been reporting and decoding Jammu and Kashmir for last 3 decades.
And that's why it's being said that after Kaho Na Pyare, this is the film that has got 2 superstar debutants who are becoming superstars. But what was this faith that you had on these 2?
Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV. I'm Aditi Bhardwaj, and let's take a look at the top stories that we are tracking here at this hour. A day after apologizing, cases filed against poll analyst Sanjay Kumar for allegedly misleading voters with wrong data in Maharashtra elections held in 2024. As probe continues to pick pace in Delhi's Chief Minister Rekha Gupta's slap incident, politics over the matter escalates. BJP posts picture of attacker with AAP Neta, while AAP fact checks BJP calls it AI generated. Union Home Minister Amit Shah introduces 3 new bills in Lok Sabha, sparks massive political face-off. LOP Rahul Gandhi says we are going back to medieval times when the king could just remove anybody at will. While Home Minister says government is committed to punish corrupt netas. Despite sharp criticism from the industry and some opposition leaders, government passes the online gaming bill in the Lok Sabha. It outlaws all money-based games and introduces penalties. In some good news now, Centre proposes zero GST on health insurance and life insurance for all individuals. The group of ministers will submit its report to the GST Council very soon. Breaking news coming in at this hour, and the last day of the Parliament session will be observed tomorrow. And what's lined up on the last day? Well, this was a stormy session. The BJP has issued a whip to all its Rajya Sabha MPs tomorrow. On agenda will be the online gaming bill that was today passed in the Lok Sabha. It will be introduced in the Rajya Sabha tomorrow, and for that, BJP has issued a whip to its Rajya Sabha MPs. For more, my colleague Akhilesh is also joining me on the phone line to give details about how the last day, Akhilesh, looks like tomorrow. Finally, this stormy Parliament session is coming to an end.
That's correct. In fact, tomorrow is the last day of this monsoon session, which was disrupted by the opposition parties constantly opposing the Bihar special intensive revision of the voters list. And that issue was raised by the opposition parties every day. And hardly any business could conduct, though amid the chaos and disruption, the government managed to pass many bills. And we've been told by the sources now that the BJP has issued a 3-line whip for its Rajya Sabha MPs tomorrow, because the online gaming bill, which was passed by the Lok Sabha this evening, will be brought to Rajya Sabha tomorrow. And all the BJP MPs are asked to be present there in the House to support this bill. This bill is very important in the sense that the government says very clearly that it will not allow promotion of gambling on the online platforms, and that is why this bill has been brought.
Right. Thank you so much, Akhilesh, for joining us. And all eyes will be on the Rajya Sabha tomorrow when this bill will be tabled. Today also, there was a stormy session. Now, let's also decode for you what's this online gaming bill and why there is such a huge outrage from the industry leaders to opposition leaders. First thing first, the online betting will be now punishable offence. If it passes through the Rajya Sabha tomorrow, then this bill will impose penalties on people playing it. These money-based games will then be a punishable offence. Next is the Ministry of Electronics and IT will be a central regulator to regulate all the money-based gaming apps. This will be a setback to all these money gaming websites and developers who develop such games. Then, next thing that this online bill is aiming to prohibit is that the online game endorsements will now attract penalty and punishment. Remember, the ED is already probing such cases. 29 celebrities are booked. In fact, there will be further proceedings as well, as these online games are also attracting and duping people of several crores. Next thing that this bill caters to addiction and fraud in online games. Remember, there is a rising number of cases that are being registered in the country that such and such app is duping people of crores and crores rupees. People are going and investing in such apps, then losing their money. The next aim that the bill sets it is to bring uniformity in law across the states. Remember, there are several states which have their own laws against this. Illegal betting websites will now be facing a similar law across the country. So, all these points have attracted some mixed feedback from the industry, but the opposition is clearly against this central government's bill, saying that this eliminates several jobs. It is a setback for the gaming industry, as people will now not invest in those apps. They bring huge revenue. There will be job losses. But what will happen remains to be seen. And now shifting our focus to the other big showdown that happened today. There was chaos in Parliament over the 3 bills tabled today. Opposition called them unconstitutional. Copies of the bill were shredded and paper balls were tossed at Home Minister Amit Shah while he was addressing the House. This is the visual, remember, this is the visual defining movement today, what was witnessed in the Parliament pandemonium. This proposal seeks the removal of the Prime Minister, Union Ministers, Chief Ministers or State UT Ministers if they are arrested or kept in custody for serious criminal charges for 30 consecutive days. Lok Sabha leader of opposition and Congress MP Rahul Gandhi hit out at the centre over the new bills introduced by Union Home Minister Amit Shah, saying that we are heading back to medieval times when the king could just remove anybody at his will. However, Union Home Minister Amit Shah has asserted that such bills are needed because governments are being run from jail. Sample the reactions.
Sir, BJP people are telling this bill is to bring morality in politics. Can I ask a question to the Honorable Home Minister? When he was the Home Minister of Gujarat, he had been arrested, sir. Whether he took the morality of that point of time?
मुझे सुनो ना, पहले बैठ जाओ. माननीय अध्यक्ष जी, मैं रिकॉर्ड क्लियर करना चाहता हूं. मुझ पर झूठे आरोप लगाए तब अरेस्ट होने के पहले मैंने नैतिकता के मूल्यों का हवाला देकर इस्तीफा भी दिया और जब तक मैं कोर्ट से निर्देश नहीं हुआ, कोई संविधान को मैंने स्वीकार नहीं किया.
There is a lot of action going on. You must have heard, I'm sure all of you have heard, of the new bill that the BJP is proposing. We are going back to medieval times when the king could just remove anybody at will. There's no concept of what an elected person is. He doesn't like your face, so he tells ED, put a case, and then democratically elected person is wiped out within 30 days. This is new. Also, let's not forget why we are electing a new vice president. Just yesterday I was having a conversation with somebody and I said, where is the old vice president gone? He's gone.
जो विपक्ष के नेता लोग हैं वहाँ पे आके जो हमारे माननीय गृह मंत्री जी हैं जब वो बिल प्रपोज कर रहे थे उनका माइक निकालने की कोशिश करी और तो और वो बिल फाड़कर उनके मुंह पे मारा. उसमें जो है कुछ लोग पत्थर लेके आए थे, पत्थर जो है उनके मुंह पे मारे. इस तरह से उन लोग इतना ज़्यादा वायलेंस जिस तरह से दिखा रहे हैं, मुझे तो लगता है कि हमारी पार्टी के लोगों ने बहुत संयम दिखाया, बहुत ज़्यादा जो है एक कंपोजर दिखाया. लेकिन कब तक ये वायलेंस जो है इस तरह से दिखाते रहेंगे, दिस इज़ वेरी कंसर्निंग.
Now, if you think that was it, the showdown didn't stop there. TMC MP claimed that she was manhandled by Union Ministers Ravneet Singh Bittu and Kiran Rijiju, to which Union Minister Ravneet Singh Bittu spoke to NDTV exclusively and said that such charges are bogus and are only a diversionary tactic by the opposition as they are facing heat for throwing papers, which were actually stones also hidden inside those papers that were thrown at Home Minister Amit Shah. Sample the reactions.
हम लोगों को जो एमपी थे टीएमसी का एमपी ओएलएक्स के सब लोगों के ओएलएक्स से गया तो प्रतिवाद किया तो रिजू जी और बिट्टू जी अचानक मुझ पर हमला किया, धक्का मारा, छीड़ दिया. यहाँ पे देखिए छीड़ दिया. पहले तो रिजू जी ने मारा, बिट्टू जी ने मारा. तो हमारा जो पठान भाई है ना वो देख नहीं पाता, वो यहाँ से अगले रखा. उसके बाद थोड़ा हमला किया, जोर से हमला किया मोहल्ले लोगों ने. ये तो लज्जा की बात है, ये धिक्कार की बात है.
Mr. Bittu, TMC का बड़ा आरोप है that you manhandled an MP. What do you have to say about that?
फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल जो पार्लियामेंट मेंबर्स हैं, चाहे मिनिस्टर्स हैं, हम सब क्लीन हैं और वो चाहे किसी पार्टी से, हम सब मिलके बैठते हैं, बातें करते हैं और पार्लियामेंट कमेटीज़ में हैं और भी हैं। वो तो सिर्फ ठीक है, ऑपोजिशन पार्टी ने अपना रोल अदा करना होता है, लेकिन आज वो लाइन क्रॉस कर गए। असली बात मैं बताऊं भी, ममता दीदी के सामने ये अब दो ग्रुप हो गए, एक कल्याण बनर्जी जी का है, एक महुआ जी और दूसरी टीम। वो सिर्फ भी कौन वहाँ पे वो टीवी पे या न्यूज़ में दिखे भी ज़्यादा हल्ला किसने, शोर ज़्यादा किसने किया, कागज किसने ज़्यादा पाड़े, कागजों में कंकर पत्थर लेके आए, वो उन्होंने फेंके आज चेयर के ऊपर भी, जजमेंट टेबल पे ऊपर से, और इधर ट्रेजरी बेंचेस के ऊपर भी उन्होंने ये काम शुरू किया। इस चीज को छिपाने के लिए उनको पता है भी ये कैमरे में क्लिप्स आएंगे कहीं ना कहीं, उससे पहले वो भी शर्मसार ना हो, शर्मिंदा ना हो, इसीलिए उन्होंने ये अपने आप को पीछे इस चीजों के
absolutely wrong. They were trying to come inside the Treasury bench steps. Okay. And that was the time when few member of parliaments stand on their own. They didn't go to the well. Okay. They were standing at the steps which leads to Treasury bench side.
Shifting our focus now to more news coming in. A police case has been filed against Sanjay Kumar, an official from the Center for the Study of Developing Societies, over his controversial social media post related to Maharashtra elections. The move by the Nagpur police came a day after the cephalogist apologized for his post and explained how the error had crept in, sparking another massive political row. The case against him has been filed under multiple sections of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. The charges are linked to false information and potential election-related violations. Earlier, in a post, Mr. Kumar had flagged significant voter additions and deletions in the Maharashtra Assembly election, which had added to the Congress vote theft allegations against the BJP and the Election Commission. Sample the reactions.
Nagpur police and Nasik police both has filed a case against CSDS co-founder Sanjay Kumar. Sanjay Kumar has tweeted last week that there are discrepancies in Maharashtra's data, and he has pointed out that more than 2 lakh, 3 lakh per constituency there was an addition in voter data. But later on, he has realized that the data which is shared by Sanjay Kumar is wrong, and he admitted that the data shared by him is wrong. The most important thing is that the Congress party has used the same data. Rahul Gandhi and other leaders have used the CSDS data to a kind of misinformation spread against Election Commission, saying that more than 40 lakh electors have increased in Maharashtra election, and Rahul Gandhi has called a vote chori against citizens of Maharashtra and has said that Election Commission is doing vote chori, and based on the CSDS data, the Congress party and Rahul Gandhi has questioned the Election Commission, the integrity of the Election Commission, and now we have seen that from like Maharashtra, many places there are FIR registered against CSDS co-founder Sanjay Kumar.
Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta was slapped by a man from Rajkot during her Jan Sabha at her residence. This soon snowballed into a massive AAP versus BJP controversy. While the attacker has been caught, the motive remains unclear. But BJP has blamed Aam Aadmi Party for conspiring against Delhi CM and posted a picture of attacker with Aam Aadmi Party leader. However, the AAP was quick to fact-check the Saffron Party, calling the photo fake and generated using artificial intelligence. Take a look at our report to know what happened next.
It was supposed to be a regular Jan Sabha of the Delhi Chief Minister at her camp office in Civil Lines, when around 8:20 am, a man attacked Rekha Gupta. The accused, now identified as Rajesh Sakriya from Rajkot, Gujarat, posed as a complainant. He first slapped the Chief Minister, then lunged at her and pushed her. The attacker then pulled her hair. Cops at the spot then scrambled to nab the attacker.
ये उस वक्त थी आप जब जन सुनवाई में आपके भी बाल खींचे उसमें?
जी जी हाँ, दीदी थोड़ा सा नीचे झुकी हुई थी हमारी मुख्यमंत्री जी। तो हमें एकदम देखा कौन है ऐसा, शौक लगा हमें जाके हमने फिर उसको छुटवाया है। तो जैसे हमने दीदी को उसको पकड़ा है तो उसने मेरे बाल पकड़ लिए। कुछ नहीं बोल रहा था, साजिश लग रही है क्या था, कुछ नहीं बोल रहा था। वो हमें उसको मतलब थोड़ा बहुत पिटाई, वो छुटवाया, वो भी करा, बट उसने कुछ भी नहीं बोला उस टाइम।
माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी के ऊपर जन सुनवाई के दौरान जो हमला किया गया, मैं इसकी कड़े शब्दों में निंदा करता हूं। यही विरोधियों की साजिशें हैं। उनसे ये बर्दाश्त नहीं होता कि एक मुख्यमंत्री कितने घंटे पब्लिक के बीच में रहता है। यही कारण है कि इसके पीछे कोई राजनीतिक साजिश की बू आ रही है। जल्द ही दिल्ली पुलिस इसकी इन्वेस्टिगेशन कर रही है, सारे तथ्य सामने आएंगे।
मैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी को ये कहना चाहता हूं कि आज हम लोग बड़े दिल से आपका साथ दे रहे हैं, क्योंकि हम लोग ये नहीं सोचते कि हमला भारतीय जनता पार्टी पे हुआ या कांग्रेस पे हुआ या हम पे हुआ। इन प्रिंसिपल वायलेंस गलत है और हम और तमाम पार्टियों को इसकी निंदा करनी चाहिए और इसके अंदर कहीं पे भी उस अटैक को जस्टिफाई करने की कोशिश नहीं करनी चाहिए।
CCTV footage accessed by NDTV shows Rajesh conducting a recce of the Chief Minister's Shalimar Bagh residence. His mother claims Rajesh is a dog lover and was allegedly upset with the top court's order to send stray dogs to shelters.
रिक्शा अलग है, रिक्शा अलग है। यार क्या रे उज्जैन क्या रे क्या दिल्ली जाऊ तो पापा के दिन क्या दी आविस तू तो કે હું દિલ્હી સમ કોઈ ત્રા માટે ગયો છું, બીજું કાઈ શબ્દ ન બોલ્યો। તમને દિલ્હી જવાનું શું કીધું તમને દિલ્હી કેદી ફોન આવ્યો તો છેલ્લે ક્યારે આવ્યો તો ફોન હમણાંથી કર્યો કે તું કેદી આવવાનો છો તો કે હું દિલ્હી ગયો દિલ્હી છું તો ઉજ્જૈન ગયો તો નહીં કે તો કે હું સકલા ઓલા કુતરા માટે ગયો છું કે બીજું કાઈ ન બોલ્યો તો ફોન મૂકી દીધો।
A big political fight has also erupted over the attack. The BJP calls it a political conspiracy, while our AAP MLA has claimed the attack was orchestrated by the CM herself.
अभी जो पता लगा है कि वो व्यक्ति पीछे 24 घंटे से रेकी कर रहा था कि वो कैसे मुख्यमंत्री से मिले। वो उनके घर में शालीमार बाग तक भी पूरा वहाँ पे उसने रेकी किया कल, और आज सुबह जब वो आया तो उसके हाथ में कोई कागज पत्र नहीं था, कोई ऐसा मुद्दा नहीं था, और उसने सीधा ही मिलते ही और हमला कर दिया। तो अभी कोई पॉलिटिकल कॉन्स्पिरेसी है या क्या मामला है ये अभी कहना ठीक नहीं है, क्योंकि पुलिस की जांच होगी। सारी तहकीकात के बाद में ही आपको बताया जाएगा।
सीएम पे अटैक नहीं हुआ है, उन्होंने खुद क्रिएट किया है। उनको मैं बहुत पुराना जानता हूँ। जब आंदोलन होता था सौंदर्य प्रसाधनों का तो ये जानबूझ करके एक आध बाल को माचिस से जला लेती थी, जिससे कि लगे कि ये जल गई हूं मैं। ये नाटक करती है, शुरू से इनका ऐसे ही मामला है। इनका कोई हमला नहीं हुआ है। ये बस ये है कि खबरों में बनी रहे, कोई यमुना का सवाल ना पूछ ले, कोई पानी का सवाल ना पूछ ले, इसलिए ये ड्रामा है।
The attack on Rekha Gupta raises big questions. Are people attending the Jan Sabha not screened properly? What was the Chief Minister's security detail even doing? Bureau report for NDTV.
Slipping into a very short break, but right after the break, we will tell you how Russia is rolling out the red carpet for India while Delhi faces tough tariffs from the Washington. Amid Trump tantrums, Russia's charge d'affaires assures India that Russia stands tall with India.
The markets move fast.
And so should your portfolio. Expert insights, real-time stock picks.
Do I buy Ola?
Should I hold CDSL for the long term? Buy, sell or hold?
The answers you need, straight from the experts.
Callers from India and across the world. Connect live, ask, decide and invest wisely.
Your portfolio, your future. Ask Profit.
India's defence game is no longer evolving, it's transforming. The NDTV Defence Summit 2025 brings together the sharpest minds. One day, big conversations.